Hey everyone, we are starting our brand new Animals Inquiry Unit this week, which is very, very exciting. And I'm going to be asking you some questions during this inquiry unit. We're going to do a lot of exploring. We're going to be exploring animal habitats. We're going to be exploring what animals eat and how they behave, how they act. We're going to be talking about what are some characteristics of animals. So how can we describe animals? What are some ways to sort and classify animals? That means how can we sort animals? Like some animals live in the ocean and some animals live on land, or some animals eat only plants, and then some animals eat plants and other animals. So there's lots of different ways we're going to be learning how to sort and classify animals. And then our last question is, how can humans help animals? There's lots of different ways we're going to be talking about in this unit about how we can help the planet and how we can help animals to keep them safe. All right, so today we're just going to be focusing on animal habitats. So what is a habitat? What is a habitat? Maybe you've heard this word before, or maybe you already know of lots of animal habitats. Maybe you have some animal books at home that you like learning from. I'm going to go ahead and read a book to you today called Animal Habitats. It says, what is a habitat? An animal's habitat is its home. A habitat contains all the things an animal needs to survive. Animals need food, water, and shelter to survive. We talked about this a little bit when we were talking about what plants need to survive as well. Animals depend on other animals, other plants, and their environment to live. This is called an ecosystem, and we're going to be learning all about ecosystems as we continue on throughout this unit. This one is called desert habitats, and it says, many different animals make their habitats in the desert. A desert is a dry region with extreme temperatures and very little rain. Extreme temperatures. That means the temperatures are really, really hot or really, really cold. Rattlesnakes hide in rocky crevices to stay cool. So they're showing us some animals that live in this desert habitat. Cactus wrens make their nests inside cactuses. Ooh, this is another animal that lives in the desert. And here's a plant that lives in the desert. Cactuses store water in their stems. Many desert animals rely on cactuses for their water supply. All right, so we're going to go on to Arctic habitats. Not all deserts are hot. The Arctic is a cold, icy desert. It is located around the North Pole. So polar bears can live in the Arctic. Female polar bears make dens in the snow to give birth to cubs. Beluga whales live in the Arctic Ocean. They can survive the ocean's freezing temperatures because they have a thick layer of blubber. Arctic plants and animals must adapt to a harsh environment. That means it's very, very cold. In winter, the Arctic fox has white fur that blends in with the snow. So its body knows how to make its fur nice and white so it will blend in with the snow. In summer, it sheds its white coat for brown fur. This allows it to stay camouflaged as the snow melts. So isn't this cool? Its body knows that now it's time for it to shed its fur so that it can blend in with the climate, so it can blend in with the habitat. Then we have woodland habitats. Woodland habitats are filled with trees and plants. Trees and plants can provide food and shelter. We have lots of woodland habitats around us, don't we? Squirrels build nests in the woodland trees. They eat nuts, fruits, and seeds. Raccoons make their dens in hollow trees or brush piles. And then great horned owls hunt many different animals, including raccoons and squirrels. Many animals use trees and plants to hide from predators. Young deer are called fawns. Their white spots help them blend in with the woodland plants. You can see there's like some white plants, and then their white spots kind of help them blend in. All right, then we have the rainforest. The tropical rainforests are warm and wet. Thousands of different kinds of plants and animals live in rainforests. There's a waterfall right behind here as well. So there's lots of different, these are called poison dart frogs. They live in the rainforest. Toucans nest in tree holes. They use their large, colorful beaks to reach fruit. And then it says golden lion tamarins are as small as squirrels. Ooh, they eat lizards, fruits, insects, and birds. The blue morpho butterflies are one of the animal species becoming endangered because of deforestation. It's when people try to cut down different habitats. They try to use the trees and the plants for resources, but then it takes the homes of different animals. We'll learn more about that later on. Then we have freshwater habitats. So freshwater habitats are like ponds, lakes, rivers, and streams. So you can see lots of different fish. This is a bluegill. It lives in ponds, lakes, and streams. And here's a turtle that lives in a freshwater climate. Egrets nest in trees near water and gather in groups called colonies. They eat fish, frogs, mice, and other small animals. Some freshwater habitats are harmed by pollution. You've probably heard that word before. It's when the water gets really dirty from different things, usually things that humans do. We'll be talking about what we can do as a class to help with pollution this year. Ocean habitats. So ocean habitats are also water habitats, but it's different because ocean water is salty, whereas fresh water is it's not as salty. The killer whale, also known as the orca, lives in every ocean around the world. Octopus is recognized by its 8 tentacles. Octopuses live in oceans. Stingrays are fish. They live in the shallow part of the ocean because it helps them as they hide from predators. Coral reefs are warm, shallow ocean habitats. Many ocean animals make their home in a coral reef. It says seahorses use their tails to anchor themselves to seagrasses and corals. All right. So who belongs in the desert? Which one of these animals belongs in the desert? Do you remember? Oopsies, I don't know if this little game will work. Looks like this game won't work for us, but this animal right here belongs in the desert. I bet you know who belongs in the Arctic. The polar bear. And the woodland, squirrel. Rainforest, this frog. Freshwater is the bird, and the ocean is the orca. All right. So we're going to quickly go back to our inquiry page today. Now that we've talked about what a habitat is, and we've gone over several different kinds of habitats, I will put a screenshot of the different habitats on our Canvas page for you today, so you can use it to answer our final question for our inquiry. One exciting thing I wanted to tell you is that on Monday, we're going to be getting live fish to observe in our classroom. And even though you won't be able to see the fish in person, I'm going to show you live on our Microsoft Teams meeting, and it's still going to be really, really fun for you guys to see it. So, since we're going to be getting live fish next week in our classroom, I thought I could ask you, what habitat do fish live in? And then what is the habitat like? So, there's a couple different options because we talked about how fish live in a couple different habitats. So, describe to me what the habitat is like. Is it dry? Is it cold? Is it wet? Is it hot? You can tell me what the habitat is like that fish live in. You can use your writing paper or you can use any kind of paper that you have at home.